Okay, good morning. It's a new week here at Chateau de Montmagny. Last week we had Colston here and we said goodbye to him yesterday, and it was actually a very sad goodbye. Me and Ted got quite emotional when he left for the airport. We dropped him off at the airport, we waved goodbye, and it was a little bit emotional, but we got so much done last week, so much. And it's amazing how much just one extra pair of hands can just do, not just for the work, but for the morale and keeping you going. And somebody new coming in has that sort of fresh look of eyes and that fresh, let's get on and do it kind of attitude, which really picks you up. And we had just such a fantastic week. But this week, well, today anyway, I'm on my own because Ted's up at the farm. Hopefully he's going to do some filming up there because, as you know, over the last few months he's been helping them install some new bathrooms for the camp house. So I've asked him to do a bit of video up there on the progress that he's been getting on with up there. But when Colston left, we had started doing a bit of mortaring on the stone floor that we uncovered last week. If you didn't see it, please go back and watch because it was a fantastic week and so much was done. We got a little bit done because I knew Colston wanted to give the mortaring a bit of a try before he went home, but we didn't get a chance to do much. My job this week is to try and finish this whole patio area. Now we do have quite a few guests booked in for this week, so it's going to be stop and start. I've got 2 days that I can get as much done as I can, then guests arrive for a few days, so I'm going to have to stop again, then start again, and more guests arrive, stop again. And that's the worst thing now that we're open, is trying to pick those days that we can actually get work done without it being a mess everywhere and without it interfering with our guests. So, you know, I think the dogs are really missing Colston. They love when we have guests here, when we have people about. They love it. So this week is trying to get as much as I can done of this floor. I'd like to get it all done, but it's a big area and I'm not sure I'm going to. I've been told we might have a bit of rain later on today. I really hope not, because I'd really like to get it done. And it's quite an overcast day, although the temperatures are still really hot. It's overcast, which is better for me to do the mortaring. So let me just show you where we got to last week. Colston was actually really good at the mortaring. And the other good thing with Colston was that we didn't have to explain much to him. We kind of said, this is what we want done, and he'd just go ahead and do it. Or we'd show him something once, and that was it. Got on and did it. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much, Colston. It's such a hard worker. But anyway, this is where we got to last week. So we got this row here. Now the problem is, although I did the jet washing to get as many weeds out as we can, you'll see there's a lot of areas like here where we've still got mud and we haven't got a big enough gap to mortar. So it's quite a job, because what we have to do is pick a row, obviously, get out as many of the weeds as I can before I can even start mortaring that section. So that's the plan for this morning. I think I'm going to sort of try and do, this is quite a clear area, so I'm going to try and get as much done here as I can. So let's see how I get on this morning and where we get to by the end of the day, which will be quite interesting. I can't wait to see this floor finished because I think it's going to look absolutely superb. I'm so glad that we uncovered all of this stone. Not only has it saved us an absolute fortune because we was going to deck it all, but it's also, you know, revived an ancient floor again, which is brilliant, that we didn't even know existed. Better crack on.
Here we go.
So we're up here at the farm now, and I'm coming into the camp house because we haven't been up here for a while. and we're going to go and see Mr. Michael. Wait a minute, I'm going to turn my camera around. So we're in the cam house, and we're going to these bathrooms. They're all pretty much done. This man here, come away from the window so I can see your face.
Oh, okay. I'll
You go into the bathroom, go to this.
I'll
This
stand
is
on this bit of paint that's
so-
on the floor so no one can see.
So once upon a time, there was nothing here,
There wasn't there.
and now there's this
storeroom.
there's this delightful
This
bathroom.
beautiful bathroom with this lovely tiling.
Look at this tiling, and this we have discovered that this man who's in the mirror, I can see him in the mirror. Look, there he is. Look, he's in the mirror. Is a master tiler. He's done such a
who
lovely
knew?
job. Who knew? Who knew? Yes. And what was it that Hugh's brother said to you?
Oh, yeah. So Ian came round and I was showing him the bathrooms, and he said, "Who did tiling?" And I said, "I did." And he went, "What, you?" So that made me feel really, that made me feel really good.
Really good, yeah, really good. But yeah, so it's.
I have to say, beginner's luck, but I am.
Well, I think it's absolutely lovely, and you know this is. So we've got this one here, which is the new one, and then there's the one next door, and then there's the third one.
Oh, we should
down
go
at the
and
other
look at
one.
the third one.
Let's have a look at the third
The
one.
third one has the big shower in.
So this is a kitchen area. It's a communal kitchen area, and then they've got laundry space in here, and it's so lovely because you think about, you know, you look on the glamping side of things, and you've got your own bathroom. This is one wonderful yurts and wonderful safari tents, and then you've got these lovely bathrooms.
And so we've got this is the three-sided shower.
Yep.
So it takes up the whole width of the room.
Yeah. So this is 1,000 mil by 800 mil. I must say numbers because people like the numbers when I say about numbers.
So we tiled this one on three sides because
Yeah.
this bathroom is a bit smaller than the other bathrooms, but having the bigger, more spacious shower adds a
Works really well.
as
Yeah.
the French would say, adds a little je ne sais quoi. I
Oh,
think, Ted. Yeah.
that's lovely, and it really does work well. As I understand, you've tried these out.
Yes, well, unfortunately, our boiler is at the spout, so
Giving up the
we
ghost.
don't have any hot water
You
in
don't have any water.
our own house, and you have to come over here after about 3 days when
And I really like this.
we're humming a bit. So we've been very tested.
Oh, I've
Very
been there.
testing the new
We've been there,
bathroom.
both of us. And these, like a nice basin.
Oh, I turned the lights out.
It
Sorry.
works quite well. And these lovely mosaics, which
Well,
you're.
I should show them my patented device, shouldn't I? But
Well, that's
I
the
don't think
thing.
I have it to hand. Oh, actually, I might do. I'm going to go get a patented device.
You see, even the little, these little bits here, which are just such nice details, which I have to confess, I haven't done those details. Did that work there? That worked okay.
Yeah,
Works
that's
really
worked
well.
out. Yeah, the flexi,
Brilliant.
the flexi waist. So this is my patented.
I'm going to sit on the toilet.
I'm gonna market this. Ted.
Yeah, I think this is an excellent idea.
So this is an old piece of dustpan. This is a plastic dustpan, and I cut this. I measured the gap that my mosaics needed to go in, and I measured the depth, and I took off a mil in order to allow for adherence to the adhesive.
Oh, you see, look, he's clever,
And
isn't
I
he?
put my main tiles on, and then I filled my gap that I want my mosaics to go in with adhesive. And then you just put this in, and it obviously these bits rest on your big tiles, and then you run it along and scoop out all the excess adhesive, and then you've got a lovely bed of adhesive.
You've got a perfect bed.
Exactly the right depth, and you can just press your mosaics in, and they're all beautifully flush with the face of your main tile.
Yeah, because I have to say that running mosaics in is the worst job.
It is a bit.
It's a proper faff.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah. So,
And
so
that
this
is-
is a very, and all it took was me and a Stanley knife and a lot of patience
Well
to
done,
make this tool. So yeah, we're going to contact Dyson, Mr. Dyson. We think he might be interested, don't we? And,
Well, he's
see if we can get
see
this
if you-
marketed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll
'Cause
make
I
our
think-
fortune.
I think this is it. I know there's probably some multitude of YouTube clips on how to do mosaics, and you know, it's funny because you go to do these things and you think, oh yeah, it's all right, I'll just do the mosaics. And Lisa loves her mosaics, and we have to put mosaics in all our bathrooms. And then you just think, it's a complete and utter nightmare putting them in.
Well, to try and
get them flush and even, yeah, it's an absolute nightmare.
Not sink in too far, not be too far forward. So this everyone
bit of old dustpan,
the patented Riley plastic dustpan mosaic installer is what you need.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant.
It's changed my life.
Yeah, well, I think you have found a vocation. I think you've absolutely found a vocation.
I have very much enjoyed doing the tiling.
I think you are a master tiler, and I'm going to employ Michael to do bathroom number 4.
Well, that'll be good. Yeah, I'll come round, see what I can do.
Thank you so much for that.
That's
just
all right.
An impromptu interview of an evening. And this is, you know, so he's got a little bit of clearing up to do.
Just a touch.
Because I do understand you've got guests this weekend.
We have guests in 5 days. So all of this.
So let's finish with, as Lisa would say, let's crack on then.
Let's crack on, absolutely. But we need to knuckle down.
Okay, so I've just finished my second mix. Oh, be back. I don't know what the time is. I think it's about 6 because the dogs came over and started pestering me, and normally that means it's 6 o'clock. We've got to go for a walk, so I think it must be about 6 o'clock. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with what I've got done. I think I would say that's probably about a quarter. Yeah, I think that's about it. Perhaps not quite a quarter, just under a quarter. So my prediction of 4 days might be a little bit out, maybe 5 days. But I'm pleased with how it's looking. I'm pleased with the technique I'm using, and what I've got to do now, 1, clean all my tools, 2, bash it in. I'm going to leave it for a little bit though, so I might take the dogs for a walk, come back, bash it in, and then tomorrow morning get up and give it a fine brushing back. But like I said before, I don't want to expose the stone any more than what I've got at the moment, so it'll just be a very light brushing back to take off any excess, and that will be it. But yeah, I'm pleased. I think it's going to look fabulous, and by finding this stone, you know, you've got to remember we was going to deck this whole area. That was going to cost us over £1,000 just for the decking, so that saved us a hell of a lot of money. And it looks beautiful. We're restoring something that was here hundreds of years ago and just bringing it back to life again. Can't do any better than that.
So, this is part of the summer kitchen build, and I am sitting actually in the kitchen area. I've drilled some big holes through this because we couldn't cement the posts in the ground. We've had to use like these sort of metal shoes. I want to belt and brace this structure, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole through this post, through the wall, and bracket it a big long piece of metal in the back there, just to secure it up. So yeah, it can't rock forward or anything like that, and then, you know, over time you can still nip them up, and hopefully that makes it doubly secure. It's a lot of weight in it, and there's still the roof to go on, there's still the floor to go in, there's still all the panelling to go on, and everything like that, but I just want to make it as secure as I can. There you go. Bolt through the wall, bolt through the bit of wood there. N12, bit of threaded rod, goes all the way through to the other side. You can see that? I can't see. Hopefully I'm showing you in the right place. But yeah, all the way through the wall. I put a piece of timber behind the plate just to give it a bit of flexibility. and that seems to have really locked this thing in place. So I'm going to put another one over here, so in there, so hopefully that'll properly lock it in.
So another morning here, and next phase for the summer kitchen is to get electricity in there. So Lee's here today, our electrician, but it means me and Ted have got a lot of work to do, because we've got to dig a huge channel from the laundry room. So let me try and take you through where we are. So obviously that's where the tower is.
Start digging now.
Start digging now.
Start digging now, because at the moment
The sun, yeah. So there's the boot room, and then we have the laundry room and the outside toilets. So Lee is going to bring electricity into here. He's going to take it from the hallway here that leads into apartment 4. He's going to take it up into the loft, through the loft, down into apartment 4, because obviously we will need it in apartment 4 eventually, down into the laundry room, and then it's going to come down through the garden. So we've got to do a big channel and then into the summer kitchen. So yeah, so my and Ted's job is to dig a big channel here this morning so that Lee can get the cables in whilst Lee's working inside. So time lapse, I think, bit time lapse on, and see how we get on before the sun comes out, because it's been like 30 odd degrees here for the last week. Not a good time to be digging, but let's try and get it done, as much done as we can before that sun comes over the top of the house.
So, at the hottest day of the year, we decided to dig holes. And everybody knows how much I love to dig holes. But I'm doing it, we're both doing it together, which is fantastic. It's brilliant, it's really good. It's hard graft, but it's just, I tell you, at the end of the day, you feel so good about, getting things moving forward again. We don't stop, baby. We're like a freight train going off the rail.
Choo-choo!
Yeah, we don't know where we're going. We don't know where we're going, but
We'll get there in the end.
get there, yeah, a bit like old BC used to say. We'll get there. Oh no, British Rail, we'll get you there. So, little Bess is all hot and bothered. Right, so we're about to put the flooring in. Oh, not the floor, but we're gonna do. We're gonna put all the joists in. Let's do this. Yeah. So, our bolts are in. I've cut off the uprights up the top there. with an handsaw. Because, you know, obviously I needed the exercise. Getting a bit chubby. A little bit chubby. More than that. But yeah, so we're ready to put in the joist now. So we're going to do it at 500 centres all the way along. I think hopefully we've got enough timber. And then we're just going to do some supports like this that our dear Carsten suggested on the heavy traffic areas, which is kind of all of it really, let's face it. So let's do that, and then we'll come back and show you what we've done. So there you go, joist all in. Couple of strengthening blocks to go in at the end, but I've been told I've got to go and have a shower now because we've got to go out. I think Lesa's doing something with her dress tonight. But yeah, we cut the overhang, the uprights off, put the bolts in the back, and laid all the joists in. So I'm happy with that. Here comes the dogs to investigate. To sign off the work today. Are you going to sign off the work today? We're having a quick look around, see what Mummy's done, see what Daddy's done. And yeah, is that good enough for you two? Okay.
Okay, so yesterday we had guests staying, so I didn't have any chance to do any video. So I thought I'd have a catch up with Ted and see how we got on yesterday in the summer kitchen. It's going really well.
Hello.
Hello, baby. Are you enjoying making this?
I'd probably enjoy making it if I didn't have a deadline.
Yeah, but it's good to have a deadline, isn't it?
Well, it's good to have a finish time, but like, you know, 3 weeks and it's all got to be plumbed in and all got to be done and everything else, you know. It's not just the building and the woods and structure. It's all the, you know, the electrics and the water, because we decided to go, you know, all out with it now and do it, you know, so it really is a functional space, you know, as opposed to just somewhere where you can bring out a load of dishes of food, you know, which I know it wasn't going to be that eventually, but now, you know, we're going to have to get it so it's done really for the wedding. So yeah, it's a bit of fun.
Right, do you want to update us on what you got up to yesterday? It's looking brilliant.
So yesterday, Lee was here, the electrician, and Lee did so much work yesterday. It was brilliant. He wired in the fuse board for the kitchen itself, the fuse board for the laundry room, the fuse board for in the main house, which is just a little temporary thing so we can have power in the piggeries. So we've got power in the piggeries, we've got power in the old house, we've got power in the laundry room, we've got power in the kitchen, which is amazing.
We've got so much power, baby.
So much power. So that my task later on today, or maybe tomorrow, is to run the water into the laundry room. So that'll be that. And then once I've done that, I can have water coming to here. So that'll be good. I went down to pick up some materials yesterday afternoon, because we had the guests coming, and it's just, you know, it's probably better that I wasn't here, even though they didn't turn up till well late. But what we did do is we bought some steel, so this steel backed, so for the kitchen itself, for where the worktop's going to go, this is all steel packed. Be careful there. And yeah, so that all fitted in there. You know, you could say it was an expense, but if we had any backing, you know, we did think about tiling it, and you know, but then it's outside and the wood moves and everything, the structure moves, so the tile is probably cracked, the joints would crack. So this, I think, is probably the best idea, and it was probably less expensive than actually getting sort of an upstand sort of like worktop material that you get. It's probably a lot more less expensive.
How much it cost you all of this?
All this steel was 120.
120. Well, that's nothing,
euros,
is it?
120 euros, and probably because I did indulge in some rather nice pan head screws, so they were probably about another yeah, another €8-10 on top. So
Well, I think that's nothing to make sure that this isn't going to move. It's going to be health and safety wise. It's going to be easy to clean.
yeah,
It's
so
not going to
these things are,
rust.
you know, they're locked into the wood. So I've got framework on here, then I've got 15mm cladding, then I've got the steel on top of that. So it's galvanised, so it won't rust. And it should be easy to wipe clean. You know, our worktop's going to go on round about sort of here, so you'll have that much upstairs. There's going to be a little shelf because that's what I do.
Your little shelves.
If there's somewhere, there's a little shelf. If there's somewhere to put a little shelf, Ted will put a little shelf on. What I did do this morning, first thing this morning, so yeah, and electric, so we're going to have sockets in every bay. So we're going to have a double socket in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bays. That's what we can do. You know, it's a sensible thing to do. We've got a socket in here. We're going to have strip lighting in here, probably a couple of strip lights, just to make it, you know, if we do anything in the evenings, late evenings, then it's, you know, it's probably for clearing up purposes more than anything, because we want some, maybe some pretty lights, some festoon lights. These two big fellas have got to come out, so we can open this all out, and that's going to be the bar area. We had a socket put on there just in case we were thinking about maybe having a beer pump on the front, so which is again a sensible thing to do. I went out this morning, first thing this morning, and bought a load of planed timber to do for the deck board. You know, I wasn't going to spend loads of money on deck board, so I just bought this. You know, again, this is all made out of Douglas fir, and this will then tie it all in, tie the whole thing in. So yeah, so one thing I did do that I probably didn't show you, but I did video it myself, so you can have a look, is these big bolts. So these are threaded rod that go all the way through the wall at the back here to lock this thing in place. So it's, I'm hoping it's not going anywhere. But yeah, so I think we're doing pretty well. We're doing pretty well. You know, there's still an awful lot to do. You know, I want to get the flooring in sometime you know, in the next couple of days, and then we're going to crack on with the roof. So that's going to be, I'm going to do length way, you know, sort of last, if you like, that way, and then we've got some corrugated sheeting that we're going to put on the top. It's really nice and really cost effective, definitely cost effective.
Definitely.
And I just had a chat with our dear friend Ian, who's being Australian. Ian is quite used to metal roofs, and he said there is nothing worse than a metal roof in the rain.
Makes so much noise.
It is horrendously
and
noisy.
theirs obviously isn't metal roof.
No, ours is made of bitumen. So it's a mix. It's a company called Onduline, and Hugh said that he used to a lot of the stuff he used to use on the farms in England was Onduline roofing, and it was so significantly cheaper, probably a fifth the price of what the metal was going to be.
Yeah.
So that was really good. You know, that's again saved us a load of money. You know, so I think we're really thinking about this, and really sort of, you know, you really have to think about, you know, the cost. It has cost a lot of money in the wood, but then its prices are through the roof at the moment. I'm trying to do the best I can do with negotiating with our dear friends up at Vent Douglas. You know, they have done me a good deal on a lot of it, so I've got it a lot cheaper than I would do if we went anywhere else. It would be a lot more expensive than it is. So I think we're doing all right.
Cool. I think we're doing really well, baby.
Yeah.
I reckon we'll get there, don't you?
We're going to have to, baby. It's not a case of, you know, whether we do or we don't. We have to.
We have to.
We have to. So you should carry on as well. What have you been doing? Apart from guests, you've been doing a lot of
digging.
tearing out of this.
I'm a bit it's taking longer than I expected.
Yeah.
Colston said he thought it would take me a week and a half. I said I thought it would take 4 days. At the moment I've spent 1.5 days on it because of guests. Today will be another half day because obviously we had changeover this morning. So yeah, so at the moment I'm digging this out, and I'm just about to get the cement mix going. I'm hoping I'll get to here, and that will be
2 mixes, another 2, 3 mixes.
2 mixes, and then
we've got probably 3 or 4 mixes
and then I
there.
reckon another day.
Yeah, the trouble is that we are experiencing probably a mini heat wave, or we're thinking is. We haven't had any significant rain for 3 weeks now. Everything is growing bonkers.
It's either growing bonkers or dying, because
The grass dies.
dying,
Yeah.
which is really that's sad, because it's a little bit nasty for the wedding, but
Well, there's nothing you can do about it. It's, you know, we can't water the grass because they'll kick off at us for watering, and you know it's got a kind of, they do announce droughts. Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, let's hope that's getting done today. So yeah.
Happy days, happy days.
I think we're doing really well. So this morning we are off to Limoges to the copper yard. How much do you let me get for it, baby? Tuppence halfpenny. What's tuppence halfpenny?
Two pennies and half a 2.5 pennies. I think, you know, they say that it's worth a few quid. So yeah, it'd be lovely if you get a couple of €100 for it. It'd be lovely, to be honest with you, if you get €100, it'd be worth the trip.
I reckon, I'm going to have a guess, and I reckon we're going to get €372.
Right, well that's great, because that'll just about pay for the flooring and maybe the cladding.
Cool.
For the summer kitchen.
Okay, so it is very, very early in the morning, and yeah, we're off to Limoges with all of our copper. What did he call it?
Trailer full of gold.
Trailer full of gold.
We are at the scrapyard down in Limoges, and look at all the balance. Yeah, we just deposited all the copper, which is really cool. It's a huge place, hundreds of metres of stuff, and hopefully we get a few quid for it. So I just filmed a little bit of scrapyard, as you see, and I was just moving the car out, so and leaving Lesa to go in and do the deal with the fella. And we'd already said earlier on in the day, that how much we thought we might get for that copper. And Lesa went, I think we'll get 370 odd euros. And it turned out, how much did we get, babe?
We got €856.80.
That's just like the nuts. That is the nuts.
Oh yeah, brilliant. So Colston, this is what we got for that copper. Me and you were cutting up.
Carston, yeah, you deserve a very large beer on me, mate, for cutting all that up.
Brilliant. So that means now we're off to Bricko Man to buy the materials that we need for the kitchen. So that's paid for all of the materials that we're going to need for the kitchen now, isn't it?
It's pretty much done that. You know, we should get all the kitchen. Should get the worktops, the sink, the taps, the
ballon.
We might even get a little ballon out of it. What a result! What a result!
I'm so chuffed with that.
That is amazing.
That is absolutely brilliant. And we didn't even know that you could get the money for the old copper.
No, you see, that's the thing, and you know, it was our old, you know, and I remember, you know, dear old Andy saying to us that, you know, there is a place where you can get it. But it was Lee, really, the electrician, who said to us about it, and he found it by mistake, you know, like doing a job and then finding out that, and that's what he does all the time. So he's just met us down there, and that's the brilliant thing, you know. You have to do a little bit of graft, because you have to take all the old fittings off it, so make sure it's just copper going in the bin, and then he takes all the old fittings as well, so you know you get all the brass fittings and everything else, and it's just the nuts, you know, like
it's brilliant.
I think it's absolutely brilliant.
I think we might go over and sort that dump barn out and see what else we got in there.
Like, you know, because they take every kind of metal. So if you put it, I know we did it before.
That zinc, we've got all that zinc.
Yeah, all the zinc and everything, which we might have to separate.
Yeah.
You know, you have to separate the various metals. But I just saw an old boy lumping dirty great big lumps of metal, and I was going to give him an end, but he'd got them out of the trailer. And I said to Lee, I said, why is he just dumping it that? He said, well, he's been on the weighbridge. They'll be on the weighbridge. He'll then lump it into the enormous pile of stuff, and then go back on the weighbridge with an empty trailer, and then they'll work out how much they owe him.
That's good. So in half an hour, yay!
I know materials, that's the thing, materials are going up, but in some ways, if you've got old stuff, you really need to think about it, because, that old stuff will probably pay for the difference in the materials going up. It's extraordinary, it really is.
So off to Bricko Man and do a bit of shopping now. We would like to say a big thank you to you as subscribers and all of our patrons for sticking with us over the last couple of years. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to continue to do this project and to finish Chateau de Montmagny. So thank you, take care, and we'll see you all again next week. Goodbye.
much more. Always really knew what I was looking for. Someone to share my dreams, someone to follow me.